It is Possessor, which is our all-new horror movie, which was directed by Brandon Cronenberg, who's the son of legendary Canadian horror director David Cronenberg. And the film is set in an alternate 2008, and it stars Andrea Riseborough as Tasia Voss, a professional assassin who inhabits and takes control of other people's bodies to carry out her hits. And then once the hit has taken place, Voss makes the person she is inhabiting commit suicide. So it's a really sort of sci-fi concept. It's a really cool concept. And we see a very bloody assassination at the start of the movie. And after that, Voss is debriefed by her handler, Gerda, played by Jennifer Jason Leigh, and she returns to her family. So it's it's like I say, it's a really cool sort of sci-fi concept. And Voss is given a new assignment to inhabit the body of Colin Tate, who's played by Christopher Abbott, so she can assassinate his girlfriend Ava, played by Tuppence Middleton. But most importantly, it's Ava's father, who's a rich CEO of a technology company, John Pass, played by Sean Bean. Hey up, you bugger! Bloody hell, it's Sean Bean! But that is her next assignment. But things go awry a little bit when Colin Tate's body and mind start to fight back against Voss, and there's a bit of a fight for control over Colin's body. So that's kind of the high overview of the plot. We won't go into too much more because we don't really want to give you spoilers. But Ben, what a film, man! I thought this was a terrific movie. It's got a real sort of strange vibe to it. I thought there's like a strange mix of the vintage and futuristic. I know it's set in 2008, but an alternate 2008. But like it's got like a lot of the cars that like vintage cars. It's got a real sort of mix of vintage and future, like the device that Voss lies in when she's like inhabiting bodies as kind of like a 1950s sci-fi Forbidden Planet type vibe to it, like the kind of thing you see in Forbidden Planet. But I mean, I must admit, like some of the reviews I was listening to were saying, "Oh, this is like, you can tell it's a Cronenberg because of the body horror." People were comparing it to like Scanners and Videodrome. And to be honest, I haven't seen either of those films yet. I do have Videodrome on Blu-ray, but I haven't watched it. I know that Scanners is pretty gruesome with exploding heads and stuff, but I wasn't prepared for the kind of horror that's in this film. It's more of a sci-fi movie than a horror, really. It's sci-fi, but there's a lot of gore, but it's like it's not like body horror, like the kind of thing you'd see in Videodrome. There's flashes of that, but the gore really is basically blood and guts and from violent acts that are committed. It's not sort of trippy out there sci-fi body horror. But I thought this film absolutely terrific. Andrea Riseborough is so cold and clinical. And one thing I liked about it is after she does an assassination, it's almost as if she has to train herself to be her again. So when they come out of an assassination, they get debriefed. And there's a scene, at the start of the movie where the first assassination's taken place, and Gerda is sort of briefing Voss. And sort of, they've got like a box full of mementos from their life which they sort of go through, and they have to sort of say what each of those things are, what each of those mementos are. It's as if they have to retrain themselves to be them again. And sort of once they've come out of the inhabiting someone else, they have to prove that they're okay and that they are them again. And that's like a really sort of cold, clinical scene. There's like an important one of the mementos is a butterfly that Voss killed as a kid and sort of mounted and framed in this small sort of perspex box, and that plays a bit of a pivotal role later on towards the end of the movie. But it's the thing that got me is that she's about to go back to her family, and she's just sort of stood outside the apartment block, just rehearsing what she's going to say, like rehearsing really drab everyday phrases like, "Oh, what's for dinner? I'm starving." And it's as if she's like rehearsing to be herself. It's really, really odd. But it kind of shows you the toll that it takes on someone that has this job and works for this sort of shadowy company. I thought it was terrific, Ben. What did you think about it, mate?
Yeah, absolutely cracking. Those are the reviews are absolutely spot on. I know it's probably wrong to hark back to Cronenberg Senior, but if I didn't know it was his son, Brandon Cronenberg, I would immediately assume it was the David Cronenberg film because all like the tropes are there. Like you went about the futuristic looks. If you look at a lot of the Cronenberg films, particularly the 70s and 80s ones, where they give like a futuristic vibe, but it's a futuristic vibe of what the future would look like from the 70s and 80s points of view. So you get those odd-shaped furnitures, the circular furniture. And they used to use, and they do this in Possessor, like futuristic-looking buildings, which crop up quite a lot in the movie. I think one's like a bright green, like a cuboid sort of a building. And again, it looks like a futuristic, how the future would be imagined from 20 or 30 years ago. But it works really well. It just puts you in this sort of weird dystopian frame of mind. It's fantastically well done. I just thought it was a really good original concept, and I'm surprised it's never been done before. I really am. I think I put my note to sort of go somewhere to explain the angry lone nut assassin, because when she takes over and she possesses the guy to carry out the hit of Sean Bean and his daughter, she's told, I think, she's instructed to do something slightly out of character, so people think after the event, he was acting a bit odd, he wasn't himself, and then so I thought, God, what a absolutely original, brilliant concept. You're right, he's a complete cold fish. I'm surprised he's married to Benny and Bjorn out of ABBA. I think that goes somewhere to explain it. And it's just, it was great that she sort of seems to leave or carry parts of the last Avatar into the next one. The whole that thing of going through the memory box, I say you've already said, proves crucial later on, which I completely forgot about it when it comes to the end of the film. Towards the end of the film, and they're going through it again. I thought, oh my God, that's what they're doing. Yeah, they're making sure she is who she says she is. But it's got a fantastic finale, completely unexpected, and really threw me. But I fucking loved it. Now I saw an unrated version of this, so it was quite violent. I mean, you've already talked about, it isn't body horror like the classic Cronenberg. It is purely sadistic violence horror. But again, it sort of explained the way that when she carries out an assassination, it is supposed to be with a handgun. And I think the first assassination she does, she doesn't use a gun, and it's horrendous. It is awash with blood. And I don't know, was it a nod to Kill Bill a little bit with the tracksuits? It just looks so strange with it all in the uniform going up the stairs. I keep saying it because it is. It's very Cronenberg, this uniform thing. It took me in mind of The Brood, a great 80s or maybe late 70s horror Cronenberg did, which was about a woman's angst, her anger, gives birth to these children who carry out murders on her behalf, and they all dress the same yellow raincoats. I thought, is it like a nod? Like the bright colour regime, is it a nod to that? But fantastically well done from start to finish. It's a stone cold classic for me. I really like it. I'll go back and watch that again. But Sean Bean throws you off a bit because he's waiting for his bovril. Hey up!
Hey up!
But he's really good at it.
It's good, actually.
A brilliant confrontation between Sean Bean and his not his son-in-law, it's his daughter's boyfriend. They obviously have a bit of history. And he's given like a sort of like a menial job in his vast empire, doesn't he? And at a party, he makes no bones about upstaging or demeaning,
showing him up.
Showing him up in front of the friends and that, and it sort of gives him this motivation. It's fantastic. But I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought everything about it works. It's very minimalistic horror, incredibly violent, but justifiably so, because the content sort of it's about assassinations. And I put my notes, think Quantum Leap with blood and guts, because that's what happens. She's like she's highly psychic, and she's jumping into the bodies of people and taking them over. So it's not as simple as that. She has to get the mannerisms. She has to get how they would act and what they would do. So she watches them for a while before she actually goes into the body and takes it over. So it's like Quantum Leap, but you haven't got what was he called? The guy who used to come and help him, Ziggy. Ziggy on the computer. Ziggy says there's a 65% chance you're going to blow his brains out. Oh, what? It was really good. And I honestly, I say we were lucky. So there's not much content, but this was the first one I watched for this month's, and I thought, wow, well, that's great. I'll just take this and the rest of the shit. I'll just take this. This was great. I really enjoyed it.